As a dog parent, it's incredibly important to make sure that you are maintaining your dog's paw health. Now, you can hire this out to a groomer. You can do this at your vet's office, but I want to make sure you are empowered and equipped to do this as well. Now, I am not a professional groomer. I am not a vet. Check with these people in your life before you're doing things, but this is what works for me and for my dogs to take care of their paw maintenance. Now, it's incredibly important to make sure you are shaving down the fur in between their paw pads. That can get really long and that can lead to health issues for your dog because that fur can pick up debris and dirt and bugs and things from the outside. It makes your house dirty, but it also traps that stuff in your dog's paw. You do not want slivers and things trapped in their fur to potentially poke into their paw pads. That is not a good, healthy thing. So we want to keep that trimmed down, and we especially want to keep that trimmed down when it's going to be icky outside. If it's going to be raining, there's lots of mud and lots of things, that's a problem. But more so than that, if you're going to have snow and ice, that can trap those ice balls in your dog's paws, and that is painful and dangerous. And if you have like salt on your driveway and it's happened to have gotten into the snow, because you guys know we're being very careful about using salt around our dogs, that can be damaging to them as well. So you have to maintain that fur and keep that trimmed down. You also need to keep their nails trimmed because if they're too long, they can break off, they can shatter, they can make it hard to walk, it can be hard to grip different surfaces. So you have to make sure you're taking care of your dog's feet, also the tops of their feet and the feathers on their legs if they are a breed with feathers. So you want to make sure you are maintaining that in a way that is going to be manageable for you and safe and healthy for your dog. So like I said, you can outsource this. You can have your vet do it. They will charge you to do that. You can hire a groomer to do that. But I want to make sure that you can do it as well. Now we have videos on paw pad trimmers. We have videos on nail clipping and how to do all of those things. So make sure you're checking them out here on the channel. But you want to make sure you have a routine and a schedule for that. So you want to make sure that you know how fast your dog's fur grows. And this is all something that you can kind of track over time. And you're going to want to see how quickly these things are growing. With dogs with white nails, you can very easily see the quicks of their nails. So you can, at a simple glance, take a look at their nail and say, "Ooh, that's too long. We need to clip that." With black nails, you're going to have to be real on top of your calendar. You got to be real careful with that. I have dogs who have a mix of black and white nails, and the black ones just terrify me because you can't see if you're going to clip it and make them bleed, so you have to do it in little increments. So I like to make sure we have a good, manageable schedule. Now, we've talked in other videos on how to train your dog to be prepared for grooming so that you can do this yourself. You can do this without having to outsource it. You can do it yourself without having to be scared. And you can do this to train them, even if you are going to outsource this, to make sure nobody else gets hurt in the process. We want to make sure they're not anxious about having their nails done. And so for me, I have a very clear schedule with my dogs with maintaining their feet care. I make sure that I am clipping their nails every 2 weeks. Now, I have heard on social media, somebody had a great idea. Instead of clipping all of your dog's nails at once, especially if your dog is anxious about it, clip one nail a day. And by the time you get through all of the nails, you're going to need to clip them again. So you just kind of go through one section at a time. I personally prefer to clip all of them at once so that they're all the same length so that we don't have issues with how they're gripping things and how they're moving around. Plus, like, how weird would that feel if you only clipped one nail and the rest of them were long on your hand? That just feels icky to me. Like, I get anxious thinking about that on their behalf. So just consider these things for your dogs. Whatever's going to work best for your dog is what you need to be doing. And I clip my girls' nails every 2 weeks or so. Now, I'm watching it. I'm actively paying attention because sometimes the nails just happen to grow fast and I just happen to need to clip them. Sometimes the nails grow slow and it's not going to be enough time. Some days their nails will break off themselves or they'll shatter or whatever, and you're just going to have to do some maintenance on that. So I'm making sure I'm actively paying attention to their nails. I may not check them every single day, but I am actively engaged and touching and maintaining and spending bonding time with my dogs enough that I am actively and proactively checking them very frequently. And so I will notice if there's a change or if there's an issue. Now, for their fur, I am doing this weekly. My girls have fur that grows quickly, at least on their feet. It's growing very quickly. And so every week or so, I am just buzzing off that fur in between their paw pads so that it is maintained down. You don't want to trim it too short. You also don't want to let it go too long, especially depending on the weather. So you want to make sure that you are actively paying attention to these things. If it's starting to get too long, trim it down. Now, I also, if I'm going to be doing something, if I know my dogs are going to be doing something, if we're traveling, if we're going on a specific trip, if we are going to be at a specific specific weather, I will potentially do it early. I don't necessarily say it has to be done on this day, every day this week. I do typically do it on the same day just because that is what works for our schedules and that's what works for their growth patterns, but it's not always on the same day. It doesn't have to be. You can kind of like maintain that. So anywhere within that like week period, you should be good. Sometimes you can let it go a little longer. And if you are like, you know, if you trimmed it on Saturday and then on the next Thursday, you're going to be going somewhere and you want to just trim it up, that's fine. Just don't go super low with it, but you don't have to wait the full week. Again, trimming nails, you are looking for when the nails are going to be showing signs of being too long and you're going to want to clip them. Typically that works out every 2 weeks. That is at least what my vet told me, to be clipping those every 2 weeks or so. And that has proven to be a pretty good baseline for my dogs. It might be different for you. Talk to your vet, talk to your groomers, but you want to make sure you are maintaining that length so that they're not too long. You don't want them like dragging on the ground. You do not want them shattering them or hurting them. It could cause a lot of health problems. So you want to make sure you are taking very good care of that. And then of course, if your dog has like dry paw pads, you're going to want to look at different balms that are safe for your dogs to use and establish a routine with that. One of my girls just developed some really dry, cracked paw pads. And so I'm about to step into a routine with putting a balm on her feet. My other dog doesn't need it right now. She'll get it sometimes just to, you know, for maintenance sake. But Gemma is going to have kind of like a daily routine with that so that we can get them a little bit healthier, because she is allergic to everything under the sun. And part of that is just like chewing bald spots on her legs and on her back and on her, you know, sometimes she'll chew at her paws. Her paws are the least of where she's chewing, but it has led to, you know, a little bit of more cracking of her paws. And so we're going to have to step up that routine or establish that routine for her. So as you are doing this, make sure you're checking with your vet, make sure you're checking with your groomer, make sure you have good, appropriate tools. I have some really good ones in my Amazon storefront if you would like to use the things that I am using, especially the paw pad trimmer. It's low noise, low vibration, so it's more comfortable for them to be using and less fearful for them. And you want to make sure you have that routine, mark it on your calendar if you need to, and then actively stay to that as best you can with any cleanup maintenance in between that you might possibly need to ensure the health of your dogs. Questions? Go ahead and drop it down below and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of being a dog parent to give your dog the best life possible and make this as stress-free as possible for you. We'll see you in the upcoming episode.